A simple drug deal on a quiet street in Kingstanding, Birmingham, ended up resulting in an M of the most barbaric and heinous magnitude. It was sickening. The date was November 5th, 2024. The sky was grey and 23-year-old Lloyds Bank worker Maya Marsh had taken some time off work, citing stress and mental health issues for the reason. Maya wanted to purchase £20 worth of weed, not from the victim initially, because she had already racked up a £200 debt with him. So, Maya went through her contacts and tried to contact all the other dealers that she had known, but no one picked up their phone. So, Maya sighed and then relented. She then looked through her contacts and placed a call to Big Z, real name Minister Enfrence. Now, Maya did not want the weed, she needed it. That was the only reason she had called Minister. If she could, she would have avoided Minister at all costs because again, she'd already racked up a debt of £200 for previous ticks, and now the debt was getting bigger, larger. Despite Minister Enfrence, aka Big Z, being a known dealer, he was not aggressive, a roadman, or someone that tried to use B tactics. He had sold rder to make money for himself. Now, on the day of the M, according to Minister's mum, Enfrence was due to sit his theory driving test and also attend a job interview. These were the first steps that the 21-year-old was making to ensure that he went legit and became a productive member of society. He didn't get that chance because his life was taken. CCTV showed Minister Enfrence cycling his way to the customer, Maya Marsh, and the two were spotted talking around the corner of Tevett Grove in the Kingstanding area of Birmingham. While standing round the corner from the home Maya Marsh shared with her brother Isaiah Marsh, Maya and Minister got into an argument. Now, Minister Enfrence had demanded that Maya pay her debt in full. Big Z wanted his £200, which was owed to him. Maya, on the other hand, had become agitated at being asked to pay the debt. Their business relationship was already said to be strained and confrontational at times, so Maya was in no mood to deal with Big Z. All she wanted was the weed, that's it, £20 worth. She didn't want to entertain the idea of paying off the debt yet. Now, Maya was also peed off because she says that Minister had kept her waiting, which she did not like, which the judge confronted and says it was ironic, as she had kept Minister Enfrence waiting for his money. When police analysed the CCTV, they says that Maya had acted as the aggressor, and she had even pulled out a blade during the confrontation. The blade had been pointed towards Enfrence multiple times as a gesture to just hand over the weed. Now, police says that Maya knew that the debt would be brought up and would likely lead to a confrontation. So, to mitigate that, Maya had already armed herself with a blade and was prepared to pull it out on full display if necessary. Now, Minister Enfrence did not comply. He wouldn't hand over the weed. Again, he wanted the debt paid in full and then he would give Maya what she wanted. During the confrontation between Maya and Minister, Maya's brother Isaiah had arrived on the scene on his bike as well. Isaiah had heard the argument on the phone because at the time that the argument reached a boiling point, he was already on the phone to Maya, who actually left the call open while she was dealing with Minister. So, when Maya decided that there was no more need to talk, the confrontation now reaching shouting, Maya, who's a bank worker, had passed the blade to her brother, Isaiah Marsh, and then launched herself at Big Z, swinging both arms and trying to claw at the dealer. Isaiah also stepped in, not to defuse the situation or even de-escalate it, but rather to put a permanent end to it. Isaiah Marsh, just after 10 a.m, had charged at Minister Enfrence. First, Isaiah put his hand on Minister's neck, trying to pull him backwards, but Minister was able to shake Isaiah off, and Isaiah ended up rolling on the ground. The two men then disappeared from view of CCTV by an electric substation. During the tussle, a blade had fallen out on the ground, still in its sheath. Maya then picked the blade up and then handed it to her brother Isaiah. As Maya and Isaiah teamed up against Minister Enfrence, Maya took hold of Minister's arms, sitting on them, allowing Isaiah to stand back up. Now, at this point, Isaiah was holding what was described as a large, ugly-looking blade. He unsheathed it while Minister was still on the ground, looking up, defenseless. Isaiah then bladed the 21-year-old over a dozen times, more than 20 times. Despite Minister being injured from the very first incision, 21-year-old Isaiah Marsh continued to poke and jab, metal making contact with Minister. Each blow was deliberate and targeted vulnerable parts of Minister. It was ferocity in its most simple form and pure form. The intention to kill was evident, so much so that the judge, Simon Drew, says the footage that recorded Minister Enfrance's last moments alive was sickening, truly. Again, the judge says that Maya had acted in an aggressive and violent manner, which created the atmosphere and set the tone for her brother to use the blade she had given him to commit an M, killing Minister Enfrence. Now, Minister was in obvious pain after being bladed over 20 times. However, that urge to live was fantastic, because despite being gravely injured, Minister Enfrence managed to struggle up to his feet and then flee the scene, looking everywhere for help. Tragically, Minister Enfrence could no longer move his body, and he ended up falling outside the house, his final breath caught on a Ring doorbell camera. Now, 2 members of the public had seen Minister, a large pool of red gathering, and then they tried to stem the wounds, but there was too many. Other people called 999 and requested emergency services ASAP, but by the time paramedics, trauma teams, and doctors arrived on the scene, Minister Enfrence Big Z was already pronounced dead, something that broke his mum's heart. Now, in the aftermath, under the noise of the sirens, both Maya and Isaiah walked away from the scene casually, even walking away in possession of Minister's bike. The brother and sister duo went on their walk. They stashed the 2 blades in a wheelie bin nearby. One blade belonged to Minister, and at no point did he produce it or even try to use it. The brother and sister also discarded the clothes that they were wearing. While Isaiah took himself to the hospital for an injury to his hand, Maya Marsh had decided to go to work as though nothing had happened. She actually managed to finish her shift and then spent the night at a friend's house in Aston. Now, of course, police conducted an investigation by the homicide team, and after reviewing CCTV footage, Isaiah and Maya Marsh were identified as the suspects. She was arrested the day after the M, and Isaiah Marsh handed himself in later that same day. When questioned, Maya accepted that she had handed the blade to Isaiah, her brother, but she said she did not think that he would use it, and though Maya had been the one to start the brawl and was the aggressor and actually pointed a blade at Minister Enfrence, she said that she repeatedly told her brother to stop and break it up when things got serious. As for Isaiah Marsh, he says that he was full of remorse and did not recognise the person that he was on November 5th. Now, Minister was just a man just like him, and his life was taken. After both siblings pled not guilty, the 2 were convicted of the M on Monday, the 12th of May, following a 3-week trial at Birmingham Crown Court. Now, Isaiah Marsh and Maya Marsh were given the following sentences at Birmingham Crown Court. Isaiah Marsh was jailed for life with a minimum term of 20 years, and 23-year-old Maya Marsh was jailed for life with a minimum term of 20 years also. When the verdicts had been says, Isaiah had got up and then left the docks, maybe because his sister had tried to pin the blame on him, or he did not like the sentence that was about to be imposed on him. Who knows? Condolences to Minister Enfrance's family, aka Big Z. Let me know, does the crime match the sentence? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe.